This is an NBC News special report. Here's Lester Holt.
And good day, everyone from New York. We're coming on the air with breaking news from Wall Street. The Dow suffering a big sell-off today. Let's look at the final numbers. Down over 1,100 points, more than 4.5% down. It's the worst single-day plunge in points in history. Keep in mind, it's off of a higher market in general. Stocks continuing their slide from Friday. For more, let's go to CNBC's Tyler Mathisen. Tyler, what's going on here?
Lester, this was a day like none other ever on Wall Street in terms of the Dow. At one point, between about 2:50 p.m. and 3:10 p.m., the Dow lost about 1,000 points, going from a loss of 600 points to 1,600 points. At that low point, it was off more than 6%. As you see, it has come back a little bit and now is down about 4.6%. The Dow, Lester, is now negative for the year after a spectacular January. The S&P 500 was negative for the year. But don't forget this, folks. Since last year, the Dow is still up over the past 12 months by 22%, the Nasdaq by 24%, and the S&P by about 18%, even with today's losses. But this was the kind of old school volatility triggered by what we call program trading, or machines, artificial intelligence, reacting to signals that probably you and I, Lester, couldn't discern on our own. We'll see what happens, but this was following the pattern of many sell-offs that began on a Friday and continued and violently on a Monday.
And Taylor, what we have seen sometimes in the past is these things tend to go around the world. As the overseas markets open later tonight, could this swing back and bring about another day like this?
Absolutely, it could, or it could go the other way. But you would expect probably that when Asian markets open in about 4 hours' time, that they would react and reprice, basically sell off themselves. Maybe they then get some buyers who come in and get their footing. But then it will, as you say, go around the world, moving from Asia through the Middle East and then into Europe. I would expect to see those markets sell off at least early in the day on Tuesday, and then maybe some buyers come in.
Tyler Mathisen from CNBC, thank you. I want to go to our chief White House correspondent, Hallie Jackson, on the North Lawn. Hallie, a week ago, the president was taking credit for this strong market. Is there any reaction from the White House to what we just saw here?
There is, Lester. White House officials saying, listen, they understand that the stock market will fluctuate in the short term, but they believe, in their words, that the fundamentals of the economy are strong. You're right that just a week ago, the president was down Pennsylvania Avenue touting the state of the economy in his State of the Union speech. It is one of his favorite and most frequent talking points, but it set up a really interesting split screen today. On the one hand, you had the president in Cincinnati. He's on the road today talking up his tax law and talking about what it has done to the economy. And at the same time, you had the Dow plunging almost minute for minute as the president was speaking. It is not the optics that the White House necessarily wants to see. Remember, this is a president who just a couple of weeks ago talked about possibly hitting 30,000. In the past, presidents have tried to shy away from taking too much credit for stock market gains because on the flip side, there's then the possibility that you own the losses too. And that seems to be the lesson that the president is possibly learning today. He's due back here at the White House a little later on this afternoon, Lester. We'll see if he answers any questions from reporters on this then.
Hallie Jackson, thanks very much. Let me briefly go back to Tyler. Tyler, we were talking about the Dow. Are the other markets reflecting the same fall?
Absolutely the same, but maybe, Lester, not quite as much as the Dow Industrials, which were off about 4.6%. Those numbers will settle up. That may not be the final count. But the S&P 500, which is a broader index than the Dow, off about 4.1%. And the Nasdaq, where a lot of the tech stocks live, those were down, as you see there, 273 points, about 3.8%.
Tyler Mathisen, thank you very much. We will have a complete wrap-up on all this tonight on NBC Nightly News. For now, I'm Lester Holt, NBC News, New York. Good afternoon. Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.